Welcome to Unreality Zone Fun and Games. Currently, we are playing a campaign of Modifius Entertainment's Star Trek Adventures. Our campaign is called Empires in Embers. The setting is Deep Space Nine, about 2 years after the Dominion War. Previously on Empires in Embers, in an audacious meeting with executives from Geta Enterprises Multiplicities, GEM, temporarily interrupting negotiations over Dominion shipyards in Cardassian space, GEM was working to bring jobs to Cardassians by building a new generation of highly advanced warships for the Alpha Quadrant. You traded information about the Pa Wraiths for information about the Dominion. A docile named Keen told you that the founders had not approved of GEM's plan to earn enormous profits from gladiatorial starship battles. And like all Vorta, Dracoon knows the founders and suspects that if someone brought evidence of these games to their homeworld, the founders might put a stop to the games. And now I'm going to ask Dracoon to make a difficulty 1 check of reason plus con. So looking at your character sheet here, Dracoon reason plus con is 10 plus 3, 13 is your target. You've got 2 20-sided dice. No one gets to help you on this.
Five and a 12.
2 successes. So the players start off the game with 1 momentum, Doug. And a lot of threat because we have a lot of players this time. And so you conclude your knowledge of the Gamma Quadrant tells you the founder's homeworld is in the Omarian Nebula, and you could visit a GEM facility. GEM's Realm of Commerce Dorana is on the way to the Omarian Nebula. So you might be able to make a trip out of this to collect evidence of these gladiatorial games and present it to the founders.
Excellent.
You might want to tell your captain about that, and you want to tell Vita what you think?
Sure. I was waiting for you to and
then we're going to roll opening credits.
Okay. Captain Vita, I believe we can gather some more evidence in order to give the founders more intelligence on what GEM is doing. We just have to stop along the way. Are you okay with that?
I'm perfectly fine with that. I will run it past the professor since we're borrowing his ship, but I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, and let's roll the opening. Mercy. We're going to begin by reminding everyone it's about 3 days until those gladiatorial games begin. And you've computed that the trip with the stop to collect evidence along the way to the Founders' home world at maximum warp on Starship 11 is about 2 days. So you've got to leave sometime today if you're going to make it before the gladiatorial games begin. Now, there's a couple things happening first today. You're going to have to decide who is going on this trip to the Gamma Quadrant. But before you decide who's going on this trip to the Gamma Quadrant, we've got a starship docking. The USS Spinoza is docking. And it's bringing some junior officers to Deep Space Nine that will act as backup characters for some of the players. So as the ship docks and the characters present their credentials to Vita and Mani and whoever else will gather there, eventually they're all going to need to have physicals with Dr. Smith. But first, let's introduce the new characters that are, they'll be pretty much background NPCs except for when you need to pull them out. So first we've got 4 sort of part-time player characters. The first one is Lieutenant Ansa High, is a Betazoid with a gift for command and diplomacy. You see on his paperwork that's presented, has empathic and telepathic abilities. And Kurt, do you want to introduce that character? Say hello to the commander.
Greetings, Commander Vita. And how are you today?
It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I hope my crew won't cause too much trouble.
Oh, I'm sure everything's shipshape.
Yes. And here are some of my officers.
Okay, and next is someone you've met before. Ensign Eyal, who was, I think, a cadet last time you saw Eyal, a Kelpian science officer. She was your cadet on the Rumford who ran the betting pool on when the Dominion War would break out, is what you remember about her. And Ella, you want to say hi through your backup character?
Hey, Captain. How are you?
Oh, Ensign Eyal, it's been a while.
Indeed.
Just so you're aware, we do have a constable on this station, so keep it low key, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, then we've got the next one to present their credentials is, and Vita is gone. The next one to present their credentials is Ensign Laplock, a Benzite engineer raised on the Klingon planet, who's a member of the House of Mokai and awarded the Christopher Pike Medal of Valor during the war, the only Benzite ever to win any award for bravery. Darren, you want to introduce your character?
Yes. This space station looks surprisingly stable.
It's quite stable,
Very good.
I assure you.
You don't understand. We've been hearing reports about this deep space and how often it gets almost destroyed. So I was a little worried, but okay, it looks acceptable.
Okay, and the next character you meet is
Sorry,
Ensign.
slight tribble incursion.
Oh.
Tribble.
Next, you meet Ensign Robert Newhart,
Okay,
a
okay.
human security officer.
As soon as the doctor, as soon as he sees us, he's like, "Bob, what the hell?" And Newhart's like, "Mando, what are you doing on a space station? That is so off-brand for you." I'm like, "Oh my God, tell me about it. I have got a story for you about this." But I'm sorry, Commander.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Why don't you introduce me to Bob?
Oh my God, I don't know if I've got time to tell you everything I know about Bob. Well, you see, here's the thing. Bob and I actually spent a little time in Starfleet Academy, and I did manage to graduate despite that. And we sort of lost touch over the years. Occasionally, we'd come back up, we'd run into each other on shore leave or whatnot. But no, man, we go way back.
So when I need to send somebody to interrogate a prisoner in sickbay, I should send Bob now?
I don't know if that's a really good idea. I wouldn't recommend that.
All right. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Newhart.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to have a great time here, Commander. It's a pleasure to be here. And then Bob and the doctor immediately go off and they just start jammering away about trading, swapping stories.
All right, who's there? Oh, Happy Kucharski is there. Happy Kucharski sees him and says, "Hi, Bob."
Oh,
Something
hey.
like that.
Hey, how's it going? You're here too? This place is going to be lit.
Okay, and then we've got 3 NPCs also in the group. Dr. Altera Bach, who's obviously a Trill with the lieutenant rank, presents herself, says,
That is an unjoined Trill, right?
She says, "Hello, Commander Vita. Everyone calls me Doc Bach. And before you ask, no, I am not joined, but I came this close to being selected."
I hear it's even more harder than trying to get into Starfleet, so I am sure you were exceptional.
Getting in Starfleet was much easier. And you see on her record, kind of conspicuously, Doc Bach has never turned down a dangerous assignment. Then, what's that?
Doc Bach, it's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome aboard.
Wait, what is she a doctor of?
She was the medical officer on the ship in your side quest. She's just
we have a new medical
just a
officer
young
now?
medical officer. She's not as good as you.
Well, duh.
When you get a chance,
Yeah,
Doc
but is
Bach,
she
you
more
want
personable?
to check in with Dr. Tessick and Dr. Smith, and I'm sure one of them will give you an appropriate assignment.
It'll probably be Dr. Tessick. I'm going to be occupied for a while.
Well,
Isn't
if
this
you
the
need
morning
an
after
NPC,
your big date?
Isn't this the man who was complaining how he never has time to operate his own doctor station in the station?
Yes, it
Am
is.
I wrong about this?
Hey, you know what?
And now
I
that we're giving
contradict
him that
myself
time,
sometimes.
he's
I am
not going
vast.
to
I
use it.
contain multitudes.
This
The
has to
next-
do with procreation, doesn't it?
the next character you meet is a cadet.
Well, not if I can help
born
it.
in a cadet's uniform. It's Cadet Mattis Arna. She says, "Hello, Commander. I'm so excited to be here. I was sent from." Oh, it's a female Bajoran in a cadet's uniform. "I was sent from Starfleet Academy by Professor Sabe Traz to learn about Starship 11 from Dracoon. Professor Sabe is developing the curriculum on Dominion starship operations. And here are my credentials." And it says, it has a letter in there from Professor Sabe from Starfleet headquarters saying, please assign her to work with Dracoon to help develop the points that are going to be in the curriculum for Starfleet Academy. You see, she doesn't actually have a lot of engineering background. What's that?
I'll introduce you to Mr. Raccoon. You will
Draco
find
will
him.
actually come over and ask for the letters of recommendation.
Oh, hand over
Okay.
the tablet to him.
She she
These
looks
mean
you
nothing
up
to
and
me?
down.
These mean nothing. So that's Joel over there. Rule number 1, don't do what he does to the ship.
I actually thought it was Draper we wanted to avoid touching the ship. But you'll be working with Raccoon, and don't unpack. We are leaving very soon.
Okay, that's very exciting. You see on her paperwork that she doesn't have a lot of engineering background. It looks like she was more following a security track before the professor sidetracked her and sent her on this mission. And that Professor Sabe is also a Bajoran. Hence, Sabe Traz. Sabe is the family name, and Traz is the personal name. All right, and the last one is Ensign Fexus, a Saurian security red shirt. Saurian, picture from Star Trek Discovery, the character Linus is a Saurian. If anybody can picture what that character looks like.
Not quite Gorn.
Yeah, not as big as a Gorn, kind of a salamander-looking person. And I found they had published some specs for doing Saurians in the game. So I said, well, let's stick a Saurian in there. So apparently, the Saurians have this superpower of recovering from serious wounds very quickly. So I assume that's kind of mimicking you cut off a limb on a salamander and it grows back. So but they haven't really emphasized that in the game mechanics. So I'm guessing they're hedging their bets because they don't know what's going to happen to what's his name, Linus in Discovery. And they don't want to do something that in the rules that's countermanded by that. But as far as I'm concerned, if you cut off this guy's arm, it'll grow back. Okay, and right now, there's an announcement. What's that?
I need a couple of recaps here.
Yeah.
The Ben site. What was the Ben site's name?
Laplock.
Laplock, yeah.
Leplock.
Laplock.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He's a fish person.
And what
But,
is his rank? What is his rank?
Did they just make him a
I think he was an
lieutenant?
ensign. Yeah, Ensign Laplock.
Okay. Wait, but he was in charge of engineering for a whole ship?
You were a very junior crew. Yeah, it was a little ship. The commander of the ship was a lieutenant, and now a new crew's being put aboard. That's really not uncommon with a little ship.
All right, and repeat the name for the Sarin again.
Fexus. Ensign Fexus.
Thank you.
And the cadet is Mattis Arna.
Yeah, I got him.
Her.
Ooh.
Something and
Yeah, Fexus is the only male
Female.
of the NPCs.
Okay.
Doc Bach and Mattis Arna are both female.
Well, no, wait. Robert Newhart. Oh, he's not an NPC.
Well,
Never
yeah,
mind.
those are PCs. Those are backup PCs. We probably won't see them often, but these characters are there when you need them.
Okay, thank you. I
That was
appreciate the recap.
Yeah, I got that from the people who are playing that other campaign, that Shield of Tomorrow. They have backup characters in case there's a mission where it makes no sense for the captain to
something
be down,
nutty just happened.
or for the engineer to leave the ship, or whatever. All right, so now while you guys decide which characters are going to the Gamma Quadrant, because actually you haven't been through the wormhole yet. This will be your first trip to the Gamma Quadrant. So, except for Dracoon. He grew up in the Gamma Quadrant.
This is technically my first trip to, what quadrant is this?
This is the Alpha Quadrant.
Alpha Quadrant.
Okay, my memory is that everybody was going except for Dr. Smith. I assume that we are then taking Robert Newhart with us.
Sure.
Okay.
It sounds like fun.
And obviously, given that Cadet Arna has been assigned to Dracoon, the cadet is coming with us as well. Anybody else have any other preferences? Want to bring anybody else along?
When are you? How soon are you leaving? In terms of like,
as soon as everybody can pack and go, which is like tomorrow.
but like not in the next 10 minutes.
No, you can run down to the sick bay.
Okay, because I imagine I'll have a chat with Dr. Unjoined Trill Lady, and
Yeah.
Doc Bach.
I'm sure that when I make it clear I have no intention of going on this, that she's going to say, well, a dangerous mission like that would require a licensed medical officer. To which I'll be like, you're not wrong.
Remember the Starship 11, you have not yet installed an EMH. So
Yeah, I think we had talked about taking Dr. Tessick. Should we
take Tessick or Bach?
Anybody have a preference?
I think we should take Bach because Tessick is like a station doctor.
Take Doc Bach?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Doc Bach, who likes to volunteer for dangerous missions, as opposed to Doc Tessick, who is just like, this is so far past what I signed up for that I'm almost done with all of you.
And Dr. Smith, who's like, sorry, I have a procreation ritual.
It's got nothing to do with procreation if I can help it.
So basically, when I told Tessick he was coming along with us, he hyperventilated, so I changed to Doc Bach.
Okay, is everybody else cool with what's happening? So Jal is coming along.
Yes.
And Droff is coming along. Barbara is coming along. Oh, and by the way, Barbara knows those all those characters. They served together for one mission a year ago.
Barbara, I have to ask, how many sensor arrays do you have on this station?
Why are you asking me that?
Because, you know, the Spinoza goes through them like they were gum.
That's not your problem anymore. Another crew's getting rotated onto the Spinoza.
Yeah, we're also not flying DS9 into storms, and that will also help the longevity of the sensor system.
Fair enough.
Okay, are we good on all the decisions? Everybody's secure? Okay, so right now there's an announcement. Attention, everyone. Right now on the promenade, there is a presentation by Mr. Bemenech of Geta Enterprises Multiplicities. We are providing free food and drink for everyone who attends the presentation. And so suddenly all the civilians and the off-duty Starfleet and Bajoran people are all heading for the promenade. Do any of you head for the promenade?
That might.
I'll go.
I was going to say that might be a place to gather evidence. Mike, since we're heading to get to this other planet to get into Geta Enterprises stuff, can I work on my back door to see if I can get it to work there? Because we're going to be looking for information. We're going to need to get into things.
Yes, you can be working on your back door.
Okay, I will do that then.
We'll roll that shortly.
Okay.
So, who's going to the presentation on the promenade? All right, Dracoon's going. Jal is going. Anybody else?
I assume we
see
have
that
some sort of like camera equipment is just like standard, kind of like they have with our smartphones. Like I can just say, okay, record this.
Yeah, it's probably being recorded and broadcast.
Joe goes up to
Even
Dragoon and says, "So emissary, what do you expect to see?"
I guess the second in command, I probably.
Well, believe it or not, Dr. Smith does have a certain level of professionality around him. And he really is going to try to spend at least a couple of hours today handling his primary responsibilities in a good faith manner. So he's actually going to be in sick bay trying to do administrative type stuff for the next few hours. So despite the fact that he is more than a little curious about anything that this company has to do, he is going to regretfully decline.
And I'm got my hands full onboarding all the new crew that just arrived. So
Do you want me to go in your?
Okay. So on the promenade, you see laid out a nice buffet that Quark is loading up with lots of finger foods and party foods and fun things. There's an open bar paid for by Geta Enterprises Multiplicities. There's a stage set up for a presentation to be given, and you see as people are gathering their food and a crowd is gathering around, you see Mr. Bemenach getting up on the stage. If you remember, he was the Karama, so he's got kind of the droopy thing in front of his face. And never mind. He sounds like the guy who raised Babe the Pig. Okay. So Bemenach says, has some of the people you met in his office around him. He says, first, I want to welcome Gul Rasan of the new Cardassian Union. And you see that Cardassian Gul who had been in his office before. And Pedria Gelmar, representing the Romulan Star Empire. And you see Dr. Smith's date down there, and everybody is applauding for her as he points to her. In the next 2 days, we will be hosting high-level representatives of the Federation, the Klingon Empire, the Breen, the Gorns, the Tholians, the Zenkethi, and the Ferengi. And I hope others will soon follow. Now, I know there has been some concern about the deals we are brokering here at Deep Space Nine. I want to assure you that our acquisition of the Dominion warship production facilities has been done exclusively to help the beleaguered Cardassians make a rapid economic recovery. Our intention is to provide jobs by selling warships to every empire and then every faction within every empire, all at very reasonable costs. And to help put your minds at ease, I humbly present our plan to ensure lasting peace in the Alpha Quadrant. And so on the display, we go to say view present the Alpha Pacts. enemy has recovered, we will shift production away from military goods. And you can see peace in the Alpha Quadrant is guaranteed by this plan.
This is World War One all over again, isn't it?
I
Yes,
was
it
just
is.
thinking that.
It is the setup behind World War One and two, actually.
Dracoon looks over to Joel. You taking notes on this?
Yeah, this can't possibly end badly.
I see. So it's a complete hot pot into which we're going to add more weapons. Got it.
Bob
This will turn out
Newhart is
nicely.
sitting there watching this, and he's like, "My God, it's brilliant! This can't possibly fail."
I was actually kind of lost at the part where the Ferengi would go to war. Because actively engaging in war isn't profitable.
Yes, the profit is in selling the weapons, not
Exactly.
in engaging in it.
Well, they haven't made this pact yet. This is just the plan that Get to Enterprises Multiplicities is sponsoring. So they're paying a fortune for all these pact talks to be taking place, and they're starting to take place right now. And meanwhile, representatives of all these governments are coming to Deep Space Nine and negotiating very reasonable prices for extremely powerful warships.
So they're actually going to bring Tholians to Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
That's going to be fun. Xerxes be first to tell you, you'll not trust Tholians. Tholians will cut a bitch.
I remember Xerxes now. That's hilarious.
Hard to forget.
Just so you know, I'm watching the feed and I'm not getting any work done. No work done at all. I think I want to cry. And Andorians don't cry easily.
Okay, so that is the presentation. And now, everyone,
Carl, here's
help
Dr.
yourselves.
Smith
Free
came on
food,
board.
free drinks. And I'll go take this screen back to that.
I'll be the last to take my drink.
So now you can pack up, get on your ship, and take off if you want to.
Yeah, I sent out an emergency message to everybody that we're going as soon as everybody shows up at the ship, because we're not wasting another second.
All right,
Not
I'm gonna head
another
on over to
second.
the ship then.
Let's
But
go.
For me, I basically live out of the ship, so
Hey,
Yeah,
Mike,
he doesn't
can
need to pack
can
anything. Yes.
Can you resend me? Oh, forget it. Here it is. I was about to say resend me Bob's statistics, but I just found them.
Okay, yeah, you should have character sheets.
I do.
For,
I do have them both. Thank you. I'm good.
well, you have character sheets for Bob Newhart and Dr. Smith. You don't have a character sheet for Xerxes for some reason. Not yet,
No.
anyway.
No.
Okay, so get on the ship.
Everybody pile on, and we actually have more of a crew than we usually have. This will be nice.
All right. Are you bringing along any? Well, you are bringing along the cadet, the Bajoran engineer, who's supposed to follow Dracoon.
Yeah, I'll also bring along Ensign the Sauron. And I know
the Saurian Ensign
yeah.
Fexus.
Yes, Fexus, thank you.
All right. So he will be, in that case, he will be a Starfleet security red shirt reporting to Jol.
Okay, Joel, you got to keep track of him, okay?
Sounds good.
Don't let him fall down any Jeffrey's tubes or anything.
Okay.
my ship
And
is
I
not
want to
that
bring
great,
Happy,
so-
obviously.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, we'll bring Happy. It's a shame Happy didn't get the shakedown earlier, but I'm sure she'll get up to speed fast.
Well, if something happens while you're gone, and they have to take the Defiant out, I guess it's going to be Dr. Smith taking it out alone.
Oh,
That'll
crud.
help us
All right,
all.
I'm leaving Happy behind then.
Okay. So then, I guess we're ready for an exciting moment. Doug, I'm about to show video number 1.
Oh, wow.
Which is, no, not that one. This one. Oh, okay. So you guys are on your first trip through the wormhole in Starship 11.
Whee!
Jeez.
That is so cool.
All right. So through the wormhole you go. And are you setting course for the GEM Realm of Commerce Dorana?
Yes, set
Yeah.
course for the realm of Dorana. What's the ETA on arrival, Manny?
All right. That's
Oh, we may have lost Manny.
no, that's okay.
No, I'm here.
It's about 1 day out. So in the meantime, Dracoon, you can be showing Mattis Arna around the engine room. Maybe teach her to push a few buttons and see how she does.
An untrained Starfleet engineer?
Yeah.
No, they're not pushing
Okay.
any buttons.
No pushing buttons.
Somehow,
So
they
I'm gonna
go
run a
through an extra
surprise drill.
dimension.
So she gets to you get to talk to her and she takes notes and that's it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, Mike, I'm gonna run a surprise drill with the red shirts.
You're
It's
gonna
kind
run
of hard to
some-
blame him, you know, after
Yeah.
what we did the first cruise.
That's fine.
So yeah, I'm gonna run a surprise drill, kind of like what they were doing with Odo on DS9.
Okay, you're going to run a drill that's for fighting shapeshifters.
Not necessarily shapeshifters, just borders, you know.
All
On
right, just a repel borders drill.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on. That's a great drill with the shapeshifters.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any shapeshifters right now.
You could do such a drill.
How do you know?
Oh wait, I don't remember if we determined if Starship 11 has a holodeck. It probably doesn't. You would have.
Oh, but as a stasis chamber.
You could do that at in the Hollow Suites at Quarks. You could do an actual shapeshifter drill if you wanted to,
Right.
with a holographic shapeshifter.
Why would we be fighting shapeshifters?
That's a good question. Okay, so Joel,
I think they're just planning for attacking chairs. That's all.
so Joel, you're running a drill. Is that just for your security people, or are you going to drill the whole crew?
No, just for my security people.
Okay. So, well, I'll just do a check to see if, let's go to the NPC list. And where is that guy? There's Fexus. All right, let's see if Fexus screws up something. Oh. Yeah, Fexus is about half effective in the drill. He gets a barely passing score.
Okay.
All right, and so now, what do I have scheduled for this? Oops.
An incident.
Oh, so you took all three of the NPCs along with you.
Everybody but Happy.
All right, well, then we're going to throw in another one. So, meanwhile, back at Deep Space Nine, Dr. Smith is in his office in the infirmary, and there are people, other crew members, minor crew members from the that ship who are getting their physicals. Do you run their physicals, or do you?
Oh, I'm like I said, Mike. I am actually going to, as much as I can this weekend, in a good faith effort, try to be an actual doctor, do some doctoring. I am going to practice medicine for a little bit.
I like how you said you practice.
Just remember, my infirmary, your corridor.
All right. So one of the crew members is an ensign. It's a human ensign, human female ensign technician, Solani Pruta, who's there to get her physical, making conversation with you.
Okay.
And I mean, this is a difficulty 0 physical unless you find something weird, and
Okay.
I haven't thrown down any threat for there to be something weird in there. But as she's talking to you, she says, "You know, we saw the strangest thing earlier today before we got here on the other side of the wormhole.
What was that?
There was this rogue comet. It was out in the middle of deep space, and there was this Dominion ship by it, and immediately the Dominion ship maneuvered to hide behind the comet. And I think they didn't think we saw them, but you know, the Spinoza's got really good sensors, so yeah, of course we saw them, and we just let them think we didn't see them. But for some reason, they were bombarding the rogue comet with chronoton particles. Can you imagine why they were doing that?"
Wait. Did you say chronoton particles?
Oh yeah. We passed by. We observed them bombarding a rogue comet with chronoton particles. It was just a strange thing.
Actually, we have actually a very good idea of why they would do.
Oh boy,
That is bad.
Commander, this is the doctor.
Dr.
Well,
Smith?
No, the commander's on the other side of the wormhole now.
Oh, yeah, no direct
They're
communication.
across the galaxy from here now.
You know what, Dr. Tessick, I'm going to need you to finish the physical here. I'm going to go to the thing. I'm going to say I need to get a hold of the Commander Vita like now. You need to get a hold of the 11, whoever's in charge.
You know, Dr. Smith, I think you're the highest ranking officer on the station right now.
Jesus Christ, that can't be true.
Unless there's in the guest quarters, there might be like an admiral or something negotiating to buy starships, but they're not.
What in our time together has given you the idea that it's a good idea to ever leave me in charge?
Well, I didn't think you could get into trouble. I
Well-
thought you were going on a date, not finding out something important.
Well, so did I. Me and my conscience. Anyway, so I'm going to go to since I'm now in command, I'm going to go to whoever's in charge of comms and say, well, you know what I did? They did pass this. I did study this in Starfleet Academy. I should know how to raise you on comms. So I'm going to be like trying to get a hold of your ship, if that's possible.
Well, what if you want to get a hold of them? You have to fly through the wormhole. Then you could get a hold of them.
Oh my God!
You could. Well, I'll let you figure out how you could get through the wormhole. You don't have to catch up with them, but they're on the other side of the galaxy.
The first clue is that Mike forced me to leave Happy behind for you.
Well, you don't have to take the Defiant. You could take a runabout, just pop through the wormhole, send a message, and pop back.
Yeah, if I take a runabout by myself, I'll never get to the other side of the wormhole. I'll be lost in like a parallel universe, which actually would be a great spin-off adventure. But anyways, all right. God, me
You
and my
missed your
conscience.
date.
I'm sitting on one hand, do my duty and warn the commander. On the other hand, ooh, dream weaver, I believe. I'm gonna hit my comm. Happy, this is the doctor. I need you on the bridge or the command center, or whatever they call it here.
I think they call it ops. Yeah. All right. And
Yeah,
a couple
ops.
of minutes
Thank
later,
you. Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
Kucharski shows
Whatever
up.
random ensign just told me that.
Yeah. Happy Kucharski shows up a few minutes later, rides that
Okay.
elevator up into ops.
Okay, Happy, it is incredibly important that you get me in a ship and get me on the other side of the wormhole so I can get a hold of the commander. I'll explain on the way. Let's go.
Well, it'd be pretty easy to take out a runabout.
Let's do that. Come on.
All right.
Fate of the universe is depending on us. On us, Happy. You and me.
So she talks to
God help
the
us
people
all.
who are running the clearance.
Yeah,
there
I agree
and
for once, Commander. God help us all.
Gets clearance to take out a runabout. You get assigned. Let's say it's the Allegheny. You know that one. So you
Oh,
and
I'm also going to grab that ensign. What's her face? She's going to come. I'm going to make her so that there's no warping of information. That I'm going to have you. So I'm going to bring her along too. 3 of us.
Okay. Well, okay, you can do that. So the
What
three of you,
were you going to say, Mike?
nothing.
Okay.
That was Saloni Pruta.
Yes, her. That's right.
Yes.
By
Okay.
the
So
way, Ensign, you passed your physical. Welcome to Deep Space Nine. Anyways.
okay. So you're running to the runabout. Ensign Pruta is putting her uniform back on, zipping it up, and as you're dashing to emergency.
Yeah,
take
so
off
we're dashing.
on
I'm
runabout.
like, everything checked out pretty good. Your blood pressure's normal. You're in really good shape and all that. That's great. But I am going to put you on a low fiber diet. Couple of things that I'm not sure. I think we maybe need to get some more riboflavin into your system too. But we can talk about that later. But right now we got more important things.
Okay. So you get to the runabout. The runabout undocks. We don't have a visual of the runabout flying through the wormhole, but we'll say it looks kind of like similar to Starship 11 flying through the wormhole. Yeah. And you come out a few minutes later in the Gamma Quadrant.
Okay, can we raise the Starship 11?
Yes, that is a difficulty 0 task. Starship 11 hasn't blown up or anything. They're a few hours they've been going maximum warp for a few hours away from the wormhole, so they've gone a pretty good distance, but you can raise them on subspace.
Okay, I'm going to raise them on subspace. Commander, this is Dr. Smith.
Dr. Smith? We've been gone like, what, 2 hours? What
Yeah,
are
look,
you
I'm
doing?
a surprise to find me on the other side of the wormhole as you do. Trust me on this. Nevertheless, I felt it was important. So I've been doing the physicals on some of these new ensigns that have joined the station, and this ensign, what's her name, Mike?
Pruta, Ensign Saloni Pruta.
Ensign Pruta has Ensign Pruta, I want you to tell the commander exactly what you told me.
Well, we saw the strangest thing earlier today when we were over on this side of the wormhole. It was just a couple of light years that way over there. There was this rogue comet out there in the middle of deep space. And there was this Dominion warship that when we entered the sector, they immediately hid behind the comet, thinking maybe we didn't scan them, but we're a science vessel with great sensors, so of course we did scan them. And they didn't bother us or
Get to
anything.
the part about the chronotons.
We just flew past her. Okay. They were bombarding the rogue comet with chronoton particles for whatever strange reason.
Professor? Professor?
Commander, you can understand why I felt it was important that I get a hold of you.
Yes. I need Joel and the professor.
Yes.
I looped them
Jill
in
shows
the
up.
conversation. We have a Dominion ship bombarding a comet with chromaton particles. Please tell me there is a more reasonable explanation for chromaton particles being bombarded on a ship other than scary, demony Bajoran things.
A giant comet possessed by demons. I don't know about you, but that spells the end of the universe to me.
Emissary, what do you know?
Oh, that's me. Not used to that title yet.
I decided today I'm gonna start doing that.
We'll need to talk. Well, nothing. I know nothing about this. I mean, I know that we use chronotons for the Pa Wraith in DS9. I had no knowledge that the founders, who admittedly are pretty much all knowledgeable, knew or doing anything about the Pa Wraith in the Gamma Quadrant.
Okay. The question is, does it look like the Dominion is trying to stop Pa Race and they need support, or does it look like they are doing something that would cause Pa Race?
I guess we'd have to go there and find out.
We don't have time.
Yeah, you've already
It's
gone way
a
past
rather
what
large
time it
quadrant.
is.
Yeah. Dr. Smith, I've got some bad news for you.
Well, Ensign, do you
Okay,
know the
that is
approximate
a
coordinates
relative
of where-
term, Commander, but go ahead.
Well, we're under a time crunch in this direction, and we've already gone quite a distance. Is this something that you can handle?
Probably not.
Come on, where's the Starfleet spirit?
To be fair,
It's been crushed under a deafening blanket of realism.
Poor Dracoon's trying to get a second word in. Yes, Dracoon?
Yes.
to be fair, if the founders are on this, why would you be poking your nose in it? The founders are already on top of it. I mean, no offense, you're
Okay, out of character, I'm really struggling with how to tell somebody his gods. I don't believe they're gods.
Commander,
you have to admit that they are, at the very least, are significantly more technologically advanced than the Federation. I can tell you that for a fact as well.
Yeah, Dr. Smith, I think you need to go and observe.
oh God.
But doesn't he have that procreation ritual?
Yes, he does have that procreate. Wait, no. Ah.
I was actually reading about that. There's I got some book about that by Violet.
Yeah, I want that back, by the way, when you're done with it.
Why would you read up on human procreation stuff? It's
Because
really
I
gross.
don't get it.
Well,
I don't
he
know
asked
why.
me nicely, and I'm a doctor.
I don't know why the doctor would be eschewing his duty for it, so I had to figure out. But this one has a lot of heaving and bosoms and things.
Yeah. It's right up there with Klingon appropriation. You just don't think
now
about
that is a fascinating subject. But, anyways, okay.
That's a romance novel.
It is indeed a romance novel.
Commander, we are only in a runabout. I don't think we're prepared to take on a Dominion ship. I will see if we can. I will putz around here and see if we can find something and make a scan. If I cannot, I will go back and I will send I will contact the Spinoza and ask them to send us any information that their scanners picked up about this phenomenon.
Well, fortunately, all we need is the route of the meteor. It's not going to change.
All right, Game Master stepping back. On board Starship 11, you have 3 people who were on the Spinoza. although none of them is a scientist or technician like Pruta is. So Pruta was probably right on the bridge using the scanners, but and Pruta is next to you, Dr. Smith, saying, "Oh yeah, a runabout's not as fast as Starship 11, but we could probably make it to where that comet was. And you know, our wimpy little ship, they didn't bother us. We could make it there and back in 4 hours."
When's my date?
How many people can fit on that runabout?
Your date is in 2 days.
Oh, okay.
I think we should send the professor and Pruta with the good doctor. Anybody
Well,
have
the
any other
professor's with
suggestions?
You mean Professor Droff? He's on Starship 11 with you.
Oh, sorry, I'm confused here. That's right, we're hours away now.
You're yeah, and getting further. You're on a fast ship going away from where all this is happening.
Commander, I believe that I have the skill sets I need to get some kind of information. And when you get back, you can have the professor crunch the numbers on it.
Okay, gather as much data as you can. Try not to interfere with the Dominion unless you're asked specifically for help.
Oh, don't have to tell me twice. All right, Smith out. All right, I guess I looked happy. I guess we're gonna go look for a comet.
Happy says, "Okay, laying in a course."
The call
And
to
then I'm gonna
attention
have
has been achieved.
Pruta, if you could help us. Do you think you could find the comet?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All
I
right.
just saw it earlier today.
All right, make it so.
Happy says, you know that that Starfleet Commodore that got possessed by a Pa Wraith. Didn't he say they found the Pa Wraith in a rogue comet in the Gamma Quadrant?
He kind of did, yes.
Huh.
So now you understand why I felt it very important to commandeer this and get on the other side of the wormhole, and made sure the commander knew this.
Okay, so Starship 11 is continuing to head for the GEM realm of Commerce Dorana, right? You have not changed course. So Runabout Allegheny is headed for the Rogue Comet. It's going to take a day to get to, well, Allegheny's going to get to the Rogue Comet first. So let's go to that scene. All right, so what are your orders as you approach the comet, Dr. Smith?
First things first, see if we can find the presence of the Dominion vessel.
Okay. You're not a science. Oh. Yeah, maybe you. Oops. Yeah. There's a Dominion vessel, all right. They spotted us before we spotted them. Happy rolled a complication.
Damn it, Happy!
No, we're gonna say that the complication is that the Dominion spotted you first, and they're headed towards you, and they're hailing you.
Okay.
Who answers? Are you going to answer, or
I'm
have
gonna
one
answer.
of the agencies?
Hi, this is Dr. Renax Commander Smith, the acting commander of Deep Space Nine. Which is not technically a lie.
The person who you're not necessarily in command.
That is not what I have been led to believe.
You can be the highest ranking officer without being in command. I mean, there were times when McCoy was on board the Enterprise, but Lieutenant LaSalle was left in command of the ship because McCoy was down in sickbay. But McCoy would have still been the highest ranking officer. Anyway, it's a Vorta who you see on the command, and you see there's like a filter on the screen that the Vorta is on. And the Vorta is a Wayun. And Wayun says, "Why, doctor, what can I do for you today?" And the filter says, "Geta Enterprises Multiplicities at your service." So this is not a Jem'Hadar warship. This is a commercial ship.
Well, it just turns out that some word came back to us from some of our incoming crew members that the Spinoza came across, that the USS Spinoza had come across a rogue comet, and they detected some chronoton particles nearby. Based on some recent experiences we've had on DS9, and with the commander gone, leaving me in charge, I took it upon myself to try to verify if this was true.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It is true. Yes, so Spinoza, that was that Starfleet vessel. How unfortunate that we didn't talk to them as they passed by. We must have just missed them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So anyways, that's what I'm doing.
So far, you're not getting any rolls here. You're not getting that they're trying to lie to you. You don't have to roll against this, and they're not rolling against you either. So, is there anything else I can do for you?
Oh, I certainly. I think I can speak on behalf of my commander and most of my superiors in Starfleet when I say that we're based again on recent events, we're understandably curious when we detect large emissions of chronoton particles in the vicinity of a rogue comet.
Yes. Well, we were attempting to purge the comet of what is the word that the Bajorans used for them? Pa-wraiths.
So we have a demon-possessed rogue comet, is what you're telling me.
Not anymore. It was actually, we got instructions from our operatives at Deep Space Nine. They got the information from your commander Vita on how to get rid of the Pa-wraiths, are they?
Yes, Pa-wraiths.
So they have been driven out.
Okay. Well then, okay, I guess.
Yes. And
that's all I needed to know then.
Thank you for that information. It is turning out to be very, very useful to us.
Okay. Thanks.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
As soon as we cut transmission, I'm going to turn to Happy and I'm like, there is some effed up shit going on here. And, well, it's a little outside my pay grade, but I don't trust that guy. All right. I've done enough daring do. Back to the space station. To the wormhole. Let's go.
Okay. You'll be back 2 hours from now. So then the next scene will be Starship 11 arriving at where is the name of that place again? GEM Realm of Commerce Dorana. And so let's have a look at what that looks like in the next video, Doug. Oh, that's not the one. There we are. So here's Starship 11 arriving at this amazing space station. It's huge. Now, Dracoon has seen things like this before, but none of you has ever seen anything like this before. It's kind of like a one of those new shopping malls. Around here, we've got Legacy Village, and what's the one on the west side? Crocker Park. Yeah. So it's residential and office, business, and commercial, all combined in one gigantic thing. So there are lots and lots of people living here, but also shops and malls, and also like a corporate headquarters, all built into this thing. And lots of starships dock here also. And so you've arrived here, and they welcome you. Lots of starships are always arriving, and your class of starship is familiar to them. They know these Vorta science vessels. So you don't have any appointments with anyone or anything like that. You're just kind of docked and walking out. They probably docked you at a place near the retail end of the space station, thinking you want to go shopping.
All right.
So-
Dracoon,
Yes.
I think we will follow your lead on this, since you may have a better idea of where we need to go to get evidence that you would like to present to the Dominion, to the founders.
I'm thinking we'll go near the entertainment sector. Chances are there will be, I think you call them promos for what's coming up.
Okay.
And we can at least get some information from that.
And probably betting as well.
Betting also, and this might be a good time to see if Lieutenant Draper can maybe connect with the system in here.
Oh, excellent idea, Dracoon.
That is a good idea. Okay, so you go into the retail area, lots of shops and vendors and things, department stores, technology places. What would what's that small store that sells all the cool guy toys? Yeah, like imagine a Gamma Quadrant Sharper Image.
No Hot Topic.
And there's clothing and all kinds of food.
Oh, here's a
And
Quanta Shack.
exactly. There'll be a food court off on an end somewhere, and there's also an entertainment area that has the various theaters and holosuites and probably a casino and all kinds of other neat things.
I've never felt so much like a yokel before.
Well,
But this is not this is not the sort of place that Barbara Draper is used to hanging out. This is not a wretched hive of scum and villainy. This is a really fancy, upscale, suburban sort of fun place. But also there are corporate offices here. There are GEM corporate offices. And there are computer terminals and things like that around. So you going to, are we going to go to Barbara trying to log into a computer terminal first, or are we going to go to trying to get information from the entertainment or the entertainment district first?
I think Barbara's task is a little bit more difficult than ours, so we'll start there.
Yeah, start there so she has a chance to retry. We'll physically block any view of what she's doing.
Okay, well, there are computer terminals here. Now, this is the area of, you're looking at these terminals, and they're not quite like the terminals you saw in the GEM offices at Deep Space Nine. These are more public use terminals in the entertainment district. They aren't the corporate terminals. So if you want to get into one, try to get in through one of these, it's going to be difficulty 3. So let's see your character sheet. Yeah, you're going to use your hacking skill to get a third die. So you can roll 3 dice, and your target is going to be 15. You'll have to be 15 or below on all 3 dice if you're going to do it on this terminal.
Okay.
If you got to one of the corporate terminals, like you saw at Deep Space Nine, it would probably be a difficulty 2.
Okay. I want to check this terminal out to see. Basically, I want to find out, because if I screw it up and blow things here, it's going to make it a lot easier, a lot more difficult if I have to move and go into the corporate office. So basically what I want to do right here is see what you basically gave me my chances, but am I going to get what I need here, or do I really need to go to the corporate office?
You will succeed if you succeed on all 3 rolls. If you fail on any of the rolls, I'm going to roll for the terminal to oppose you, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Commander, what do you think? Oh, Commander just walked away.
Sorry,
Because
Triple recording again.
there is risk to getting access to the corporate computers, but there's a lot more risk to my trying to do it here. So what would you
Then-
prefer?
How hard do you think it's going to be for us to get access to a corporate computer?
I don't know.
I think we got pretty lucky back at DS9, no?
I would prefer to think of it as skill, but okay.
All right, if you're feeling confident that we can attempt to term a more corporate terminal, let's hold off then.
Okay. I guess we're gonna kind of look at Dracoon for finding something like that, because I got nothing. This is so far out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, now, you haven't talked to anybody here really yet. All you've done is you talked to like the traffic control when you were docking, and they routed you someplace. You haven't made any friends or contacts. You see aliens walking around. Some of them you recognize as the Dosai and the Karama, and there might even be a few races that even Dracoon doesn't recognize walking around here. The Dominion's a big place, and Geta employs a lot of people.
Hey, Mike, would my focus on Dominion tech help Barbara at all?
All right, Dracoon, any thoughts on where we would head to get more high-level access material?
Let's hear Manny's question again.
Mani, could you repeat your question? I think you were muted.
I heard her.
I didn't hear her.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
I'm still not hearing her.
I've been having trouble all night. It seems like, okay, I don't know
That's
what's
weird
going
because
on.
you're perfectly normal for me. Everything you said and you sync up perfectly.
And I
I've heard-
can't hear her at all.
That's what I've been experiencing this all night. I've
This
been
is
saying
strange.
stuff, and then people, it seems like
Turn
I'm
up the
being
volume.
ignored, but then other people do say something.
I'm at 100% here.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, because you finished your sentence just as you asked a question, and like the split second you ended, you were like, "Oh, let's see what a track." And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't hear Manny at all.
Doug, can you hear me?
I don't hear Manny at all either.
What did Manny say, Dracoon?
Her knowledge of Dominion tech can help Barbara with this.
Oh, okay.
Doug, your official job is to repeat everything Manny says now.
I have one job.
All right.
Is there anybody else who can hear
Um,
me, just out of curiosity.
I can hear you.
Well,
Okay.
well, your experience, Monty, is with Dominion military tech, and right now this is Geta civilian computer stuff. So it might be a little bit familiar to you, but really, you're not a hacker, and this is a hacking challenge. If the thing
Okay,
breaks,
I
you
thought I'd
might
check.
be able to fix it. But then Dracoon could probably also fix it.
Okay.
All right, so I would prefer not to have to go into another Geta Enterprises office and bluster the way we did, because that almost went very badly. So if we could have a, I don't know. Actually, I do know. Starfleet would be unusual here. We can ask for a tour.
That is an excellent idea, Dracoon. I knew there was a reason I deferred to you. Let's march to the nearest corporate office and present ourselves for an official tour.
Okay. You go to the corporate office, and there is a receptionist there, like there had been a receptionist at the other office, who is a young female Karama. And there's a little nameplate there that says Zelras. And as you walk in, she says, "Oh, good afternoon. How can I help you?"
Well, we are Starfleet representatives and our guide here, interested in a tour of the facilities, particularly after that wonderful presentation that was given at Deep Space Nine about the Peace Path. Is that what it was called?
Alpha Packs.
The Alpha Packs, yes. So we're very interested in exploring Gamma Enterprises offices and having a tour.
Oh, of course, of course. Let me buzz someone for you. And she hits an intercom and says, "Oh, there's some Starfleet officers from the Alpha Quadrant who'd like to see the place. Could you come down?" And a few minutes later, not a few minutes, a few seconds later, another Karama comes down the steps and says, "Oh, hello, my name is Dulgas." This is a male Karama, and he's older than she was, and says, "Welcome to our establishment. I would be happy to show you around. What would you like to know? What would you like to see?"
I think we would be interested in just an overall tour, and also interested in your administrative offices and how you keep all your things flowing. Our quartermaster here is always interested in seeing models of efficiency.
Indeed, I
Well,
was telling them how Geta Enterprises is so far-reaching, but still works quite well together.
We are extremely efficient and extremely well organized. Yes, thank you for noticing that. How about if we start out here in the entertainment district? And there's a very exciting presentation that's, or not a presentation, there's a very exciting display that we can catch if we hurry. Are you interested?
Shall we, Commander?
Of course, I will follow after you.
All right. And actually, some of the other people from the office are coming out. They're leaving their offices and coming down to the lobby and walking out into the entertainment district.
I try to catch Draper's eye and sort of make a motion with my head towards, emptying offices.
Yeah. There are. Yeah, there's like the receptionist right now is the only one still there. And even the receptionist is kind of looking down at her computer screen to watch something.
I forgot her name already, but I'll basically read her.
The receptionist?
Yeah.
I don't know if she ever gave. Oh, yeah, her plaque says Zelras.
Zelras, a moment.
If they distract her for me, I'm gonna see if I can slip into an office.
Could you show
Okay.
our officer here to your restrooms? She's quite embarrassed about having to do that.
So which officer are you?
Me.
Barbara.
Okay. But
And
that'll work, I guess. So Zelras will show Barbara to the multi-species restrooms that Geta Enterprises is very proud of the fact that 976 different species can defecate in this restroom.
oh, look, it's separated into emitters, oozers, and squirters.
You just make sure you don't pee in the sink.
All right, not exactly what I was planning, but okay.
Well, I will follow with because
Is everybody else now going out into the lobby?
Yeah.
All right, so Zelras leaves Barbara in the restroom, and Zelras runs back to her desk so she can watch the display. And everybody else goes out into the lobby, or not the lobby, I'm sorry, out into the entertainment district where on big screens, there's a cool thing that's about to be shown. And Doug, I'm about to show the next video here. This.
Hey, can people hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we hear you fine. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Did she
I
say
swear
something?
I wasn't ignoring you.
Just kidding.
All right, so glad to have your voice with us, Ella. So here we go. It is a display of battle practice for the gladiatorial games. They are doing live ammo practices right now, right outside this station. Look at this, how exciting it is. The gladiatorial games are going to be thrilling.
Well, I guess.
And so here you have
it's not going to be so hard then.
3D video of all the starships they've purchased, of the battle practice that they're conducting. And nobody's getting destroyed right now. This is just like jousting. They're doing practice shooting at each other. And it's pretty exciting, and everybody is gathering around and watching. And Zelras is also down at her computer terminal watching. So, Barbara, you've got a couple of minutes to make some rolls if you want to sneak out of the restroom and find a computer.
All right. I figure if I can get into an empty office, I don't have to worry about her.
Well, let's find out. You see an office with a closed door. You want to try opening the door.
Was that one of the doors I saw somebody come out of?
Yes.
Okay. At least to try it. If nothing else, I can say I'm lost since my escort left me.
It's a difficulty 0 task for you, but the door may oppose you. The door does not successfully oppose you. You open the door.
Is there anybody in there?
Oh, it's an empty office.
All right. Well, let's see if I can get some information from this place.
Okay, so there's a computer there. You're not sure what you're looking at. Probably some kind of sales forecast thing is showing up on the display right now. Are you just going to try to get in and then that's it?
Well, I need to get in to do anything, so getting in is first.
Well, how much time are you going to spend here is what we're trying to determine.
Well, I don't know how long this, and I don't know what's showing. So because if I knew it was showing, I would just get this presentation because that pretty much tells us everything we need. Yeah, I'm gonna get in and see if I can find anything about the.
If somebody has a tricorder out there in the lobby or out there in the entertainment district, you could probably record it.
Oh, Drolf goes
yeah.
nowhere without his tricorder.
Well, considering that was our intent the whole time.
It's not a tricorder, it's a Vulcan computer.
Case in
Which
point.
isn't as good as the Dominion tricorder, but
So Barbara, you get 3 die rolls to make 2 successes.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
And of
Did
course,
you roll a
remember-
20?
No, I did not. I
Okay.
rolled 2 17s
Oh,
and an 8.
okay. So you don't.
If it involves my computer, I. have a
You're not
focus
here,
on
bud.
that.
You're just recording
you're
the
not there.
presentation.
So you don't get in,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, Droff, it's a 0 difficulty thing for you to record the presentation on your computer. I mean, it's like
Okay.
it's like pointing your cell phone at something and getting a video of it. But Barbara, on the
Yes.
meantime, has not successfully hacked into the GEM network.
And of course, you remember that when we were on the ship just prior to getting here, one of the things that we were going to try to establish was just how many lives would be lost by this. We all remember talking about that, right?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
you know there's got to be a Vorta on every one of those ships.
Okay. We can count.
So now what are you going to do? So Barbara doesn't know that the video presentation is ending right now.
I don't want to stay here long because I don't know how long. I mean, the presentation that they did on DS9 was not very long. If
No.
I'm not getting in, I'm not going to stick around.
Okay. Yeah,
'Cause
because
I'm-
if the
You know,
way
it's
this
one thing to walk in and say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was lost." It's another thing to say, "Oh, hi, I'm touching your computer." So, yeah, I think it's better part of valor.
okay,
All right.
then I'm not going to throw down any threat or anything. You are out of that office.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
I tried something in the food court. I don't think it was a good idea.
Humans are well known for their sensitive stomachs.
Or their abilities to mess up
All right.
everything.
so the clock is ticking. You are here. Do you want to stop it and do some shopping, or do you want to try the food court? How much more of a tour of the place do you want now that you've seen the video?
I don't think we have time for tourism things. However, Dracoon,
Yes.
is it customary to bring a gift to a founder? I cannot remember.
Not really.
Okay,
They're
good.
not terribly material.
Good. Then
Sorry. Some aliens are quite excited.
Okay.
your tribbles are annoyed you're looking at screens.
Mostly,
right.
she's annoyed that we're not throwing anything for her right now.
If anybody can think of it, unless anybody can think of anything else we need to do here, let's hit one of the betting stations real quick and capture some evidence on the betting, and then let's get out of here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to tour the rest of the station? I've got a whole afternoon planned for us.
I'll tell you what.
Electricity.
I am.
Do you have
obviously-
any Vorta food stalls?
Oh yes, there are some Vorta meals available. Vorta are not known for their pickiness of eating. But-
But the textures.
Yes,
Starfleet
they're-
replicators just can't get the right combinations to truly excite you.
The food court has several places that cater to Vorta tastes. Yes.
Do they have any Klingon?
No, we don't have Klingon yet, but I hope we will in the future. There aren't many Klingons in the Gamma Quadrant yet,
True.
but
But it would be very exotic out here.
everybody loves the Klingon ships. They're going to be so much fun in the Gladiator games. It's quite exciting.
So
So
Dracoon's
I-
gonna kind of hang back a little bit and elbow Joel.
Okay.
You're gonna try some of the Vorta food and get seriously ill, so that we have to take you back to the ship.
Sounds good. I can play. I can play sick.
That's like a plan.
Okay, so you go to the food court and you get some Vorta food. All right, Joel, let's have you make a roll to see if you get real sick.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh yeah,
the,
because Vorta
there you
food
are.
isn't made with any consideration of taste whatsoever. It's all texture.
right.
So it could be like spaghetti with mint and whatever Jello.
I got a 12 and a 12.
All right. Well, your fitness is 11, so no matter what I have you roll against, yeah, you won't be upchucking. But boy, this is the most tasteless junk you've ever had. Bajoran food is way better than Vorta food as far as you're concerned. You'd take even the worst Hasperat over this any day. It's worse than tofu.
Yeah.
So it's worse than plain tofu. Actually, I like tofu when something is done with it, but it's just plain clumps of nutrition.
with
Is
nuts.
this food. So what do?
I grab my stomach and put on my best ham of. I think I'm dying.
Eh?
So you're going to excuse yourselves then? What do you say?
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Oh,
get quite
no.
alarmed. Like, oh no.
I did not realize Bajorans were so fragile. And,
Wow.
I thought Bajorans were tougher than humans. All you people are awful weak.
Oh, and,
And-
so
I look over at our
Hey.
host.
So-
We better get him back to the ship.
and Dolga says, yes, I think you should do so immediately. And I hope he's okay. And remember not to
We're-
sue us.
Yeah, we're sure that this does not at all represent GEM Enterprises.
And I'll take a rain check on that tour for another time.
Okay, very good, very good. Please come back and see us another time.
When my crew member isn't dying.
All right, so you head back to the ship, clutching your stomach. As you walk in, Doc Bach is looking and saying, "Now what?"
Fragile.
I say
Bajoran
I'm fine.
constitution.
We just had to get away
Oh.
for a second.
Okay.
Barbara, were you able to learn anything?
No, I didn't get in the first shot, and I was concerned about spending too much time on it. I didn't know how long your presentation was going to last, and I didn't have a lot of good excuses for being there if somebody walked in. How about you guys? What was the presentation about?
Pretty much exactly what we were looking for. I was hoping to get a little more numbers to present to the founders about just how many, but what Professor Droff has should be more than adequate.
Yes, I can run some simulations and get you some numbers.
I just can't let go of the thought that they're intentionally trying to foment war. I mean, I don't see, even in Andorian history, such a strategy was never a strategy for peace.
Well, it's hard to say because the Dominion didn't really work that way. They simply did and took.
Okay, so now you're back in your ship. And next stop is the, let me pronounce this right. The Omarian Nebula. I always want to put the R before the M, but it's Omarian Nebula, where the Founder's homeworld is. So you'll be there in just a little less than a day. Any traffic or problems? No. No one gives you a problem. So let's fast forward the scene to you are entering the nebula. You know where the Founder's homeworld is, Dracoon. And you take your ship to the Omarian Nebula, or to their homeworld, which was never actually named. And
Has anyone besides Dracoon actually met a founder? I don't think Odo counts.
Yeah, you all met Odo.
Hey, Odo.
He
He doesn't really
He doesn't count.
He doesn't count because he's not part of their culture.
Well, he sort of is now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Kind of.
sort of is now. He's part of the Great Link. So
Yeah, but he never pretended to be a god. I think that sort of makes a difference.
I'm guessing we can't treat these founders the way we treat Odo. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
No, I think we need to follow Dracoon's.
Dracoon
lead
looks
on this.
horrified. No! These are the Founders.
So you're approaching the Founder's homeworld. It appears to be guarded. A Jem'Hadar warship is approaching you, but they're not locking weapons on you or anything like that. And they're hailing you, saying, and there's a Vorta coming on saying, and let's say this is a, what was another name of one of the other Vortas? I want to do another Wayun.
There
the
can
one
be
that
only
looks like
one.
Linda
Borath,
Carter.
Lauron, Eris, Kivon, Deos, Gelnon.
Which is the one that looks like Linda Carter? I like her.
Oh, that was that first one. What was that? Eris. Eris was the one that looked like Linda Carter. So Eris it is. So Eris says, Starship 11, hello, what can we do for you?
Greeting, Eris. It's Dracoon. We have some information that we think the Founders would find very important. That they were unaware of.
Well, yes, the Founders are always interested in information. Would you come over to our ship and present it? We have a Founder aboard.
Certainly. With me is Professor Droff, who is the owner of the ship, and our Federation allies.
Of course. You may beam right over. I apologize. This is a Jem'Hadar ship, though. There will be no chairs.
Well,
Dracoon,
six to beam over. Yes,
are you
Commander.
going to take the whole team, or are you going to just take a smaller away team with you?
There's only well, we'll take these 6 people
Okay.
and leave those miscellaneous people behind.
Okay.
There's 6, 7. Math is hard.
Okay. And so you beam over to the Jem'Hadar warship. and and Eris says, "No, right this way," and some Jem'Hadar are standing there. They're armed, lined up, and they scan you to make sure you're not dangerous as you walk toward the founder. And Eris walks into a room, leads you in, and Eris bows before the founder and says, "Founder, these people bring you information."
You notice Dracoon does like a almost perfect simulation, exact replica of her bow.
Okay. Yep. Just like
Founder,
like
I'm
Vorta
honored
do.
to be in front of you.
And Vita bows as well, as deeply as she can comfortably do so.
And we're not even going to worry about the gender that the founder appears. It's a founder. It's a shapeshifter that is assuming a sort of humanoidish form, saying, "Yes, Alpha Quadrant citizens and Dracoon, what do you bring me?"
Commander, do you wish me to lead, or do you want to?
Dracoon, please. You are emissary here.
There's that word again. We have found that Jetta Enterprises is conducting some for-profit war games that will be to the death, killing off Jem'Hadar and, of course, Vorta captaining their ship. We have some demonstrations available showing you what their plans are.
Do you think this is a problem? We had known about this. Is that some sort of problem? Those commercial enterprises, those for-profit things, we have often had trouble understanding them.
While the Jem'Hadar do not fear death, and they would see any sort of dying in any sort of battle to be favorable, I can tell you, as Eris also can tell you, that we Vorta do not want to die. And since one of us must captain every ship.
Show me your evidence.
Professor Droff, if you would.
And so let's play the video again. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to play that video. All right, well, we'll play this video again. And the founder watches. Oh yes, there's so many starships. And there would be a Vorta aboard each of those.
Someone has to command the Jem'Hadar.
Fighting to the death. Yes, you're right. That's how the Jem'Hadar were designed. Oh my, it's possible that the Great Link would have trouble with this.
If I may be allowed to speak, Founder, I've run some simulations. You would lose basically 273 command officers, which would represent about 23% of your known, tactical commander forces. Also, I've also run some simulations. The battle tactics would be observed, and there are implications for that. Anyone who wanted to attack your forces would be able to analyze these and could increase casualties on your side by at least 17%. So there are some other implications of running these, gladiator games that would be very much not in the favor of your tactical readiness.
Dracoon, is he always like that?
Yes, he is quite practical and intelligent. Yes.
Well, this could be troubling. It's true the Vorta were designed to gladly lay down their lives for the founder, but not for corporate profits.
I would not lay my life down for entertainment.
Yes, this is troubling indeed. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. I shall take this to the Great Link immediately.
Time is of the essence.
Yes,
Sorry to interrupt,
I
but
understand. Yes.
yes, it shall start in a day.
Yes, they're going to start in a day, and we should do something about it today. Thank you very much for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you for your time, Founder.
And
I knew your
remember,
wisdom would be-
Dracoon, you are welcome to rejoin the Dominion anytime you like, but we will no longer compel you to do so. You Vorta are free to find your own path now.
And a very interesting path has been laid out in front of me in the
Yes.
Alpha Quadrants.
Just so you know, we have
Last chance to
offered,
chicken out.
we have offered Dracoon an opportunity to be a representative of his people in the Federation, particularly with Starfleet, if he chooses. So he has many choices.
Oh, excellent, excellent. We hope that the Vorta get exciting choices to make and that they find a place for themselves in this new cosmos.
Thank you.
Yes, well, they can't do that if they're dead.
Well put.
Yes, quite a conundrum you've brought. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Okay, and if that is all, then Eris is going to escort you out of the Founder's presence.
All right.
I don't
with all
think
due
there's
respect.
anything else we need to bring up.
Okay.
Unless they know anything
Suddenly
about,
tap dancing around the elephant in the room.
unless they know anything about
Paw race.
rogue comets that, are possessed by,
Are you going to try to bring that up?
Actually,
see
that
a
probably
reason
is more
to.
something to talk to Eris about. That seems below a Founder's.
Yeah, let's talk to her.
Yes.
Okay.
So we all back out of the room.
You all leave the room. And Eris says, I hope your meeting with the Founder was satisfactory.
Indeed.
Now, will there be anything else?
We do have a concern. Back in the Alpha Quadrant, we had an encounter with what the Bajorans call a Pa-wraith, a spirit of perhaps one of the fourth dimensional beings in the wormhole. The science isn't quite clear yet. One of the ways you take care of them is with chronotom particles.
How interesting. She makes a note of that.
Indeed. Apparently, there was one of the GEM ships that was bombarding this meteor with chronotom particles. So I don't know if GEM is, to use the Federation's parlance, messing with Pa-wraiths.
I don't know anything about any of the things you just said.
But it might be something to look into.
Now, okay.
We will certainly see what we can find from our side of the Alpha Quadrant, but we don't have eyes in the Gamma Quadrant. I can assure you from my one encounter with this Pa-wraith, this is not anything we wish to mess with.
Now,
use the Federation terms.
Now, you remember Vorta are kind of master negotiators, master... Yeah. Are you going to try to... Are you going to just believe her, or are you going to try to get into psychological battle with her?
We'll go into the subtext conversation where each of us is probably trying to hide a little something. So yes, I will see what I can get from her. See if I can present like little bits of information to see whether she reacts like, "Oh my gosh," or "Yeah, I already knew that." I don't need a cheering squad.
Well, you want to make a, I guess it would be reason plus command.
I have manipulative. What does that do?
Um,
In case, Dracu never came off as manipulative.
oh, well, let me.
Raccoon is a refreshingly upfront Vorta compared to other Vorta I've met.
And let me do the thing I forgot to do.
We're trying to find a new way.
I apologize for this. I'm going to show the video that I forgot to show earlier.
Video.
Not that one, this one. Here is Starship 11 approaching the Founder's homeworld.
Ooh.
Yay. Okay. So
It is cool. We have video clips.
now I want to bring up, I know I've got that around here someplace. Here is the Vorta character sheet. This is the Vorta thing that's online. Or withhold information, you may re-roll your dice pool. Now, you should understand you are dealing with someone who has exactly the same skills. And you're muted.
So, so we can actually purchase that ahead of with momentum, right?
Yes.
Do you think this is a good time to do that, gang? Since we always forget when it actually comes down to it.
Mike, I also have interrogation. I don't want to be part of this conversation, but what I want to do is watch her reactions and her responses to see what
All
she's not saying.
Okay, we'll give you a roll to see if when she says something, after he asks a question, when she says something, we'll give you a roll to see what happens.
I wish I'd been thinking ahead and brought the Beta Z with us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was worried. It just seems cheap.
Yeah.
I have inter-empire diplomacy.
All right. So I'm going to purchase a die ahead of time with momentum, right? Is that how that
Okay.
works?
So
I'm going to be rolling 3
Doug,
dice.
can we take away a momentum from them? Did they only have one? Well, they only had one, so use it.
We forget to use them anyways.
Yeah.
Can my diplomacy help at all?
This isn't a diplomacy situation.
All right, thought I'd try.
Okay,
All right.
so I'm rolling 3 dice and I get to re-roll something, was it?
Yeah, you may re-roll the dice pool if you don't like how it comes up.
Okay. Let's see what we get. Nine, 9, 8.
That sounds good.
All right. So you got through.
Okay,
And what ask your question.
so I was like, and this is something that clearly we need to be aware of, how dangerous they are. And I'm kind of trying to just see what her reactions are. Do you know anything about this?
Thank you for making us aware of this. No, I didn't know anything about this. I'm certain no one here knew anything about this. And Barbara, why don't you make a roll now? You're rolling 2 dice. Using, let's say, reason and command. So target is 12. We're looking for 1 or 2 successes.
I got 1 success.
1 success. You're pretty certain that there is nothing hidden there. She really had no clue about any of this.
So Eris, we need to go. Shall we contact each other in the future, perhaps in a week or two, to compare notes on this menace?
if you like, you could, if you're in the Gamma Quadrant, you could hail me. But I assure you, I have no information that's useful to you, and I have never heard of this menace.
Well, you might want to find out what GEM is doing with them.
If the founders will it, we shall.
I believe that's everything.
Okay. So you're going back to your ship
Yep.
Yep.
and heading back to the wormhole? Okay. You've got a couple days trip to get back to the wormhole.
Wait,
So,
where's the hold on, where's the rogue comet?
Actually, yeah.
Um,
we have time because it's basically
It's
out
on
of
our
hands.
side.
yeah, you're on the same side, but it's not far from the wormhole.
Okay.
That's why
It's
we've
Starship
got some of the
11.
best sensors around.
Yeah, at Starship 11 speed, it's less than an hour trip. It's less than an hour from the wormhole. So, but right now, more importantly, back to Deep Space Nine. There's a concert about to start, and Dr. Smith has a date.
And he made it in time.
I did. And I'm feeling all heroic because I risked my life to save the galaxy.
Ooh, did you?
I
And,
did.
and Phaedria Gelmere wants to hear all about it.
Well,
As you're going into the concert and getting your seats, you've got really good seats right up front.
and again, I'm technically not lying when I say the responsibilities of command are not something that I sought out. They were thrust upon me. But I felt for the good, I felt that while I was in fact responsible for the health and well-being of everybody on this station, that I would do my utmost to fulfill those responsibilities in a responsible manner.
Oh, this is so thrilling. So, what happened while you were out there saving the galaxy?
Well, it turns out that we found out that, and then the doctor just realizes he's about to say something about Jem, not knowing exactly how deeply she is in there. And, you know, there may come a time when he won't mince words about this, but tonight ain't that night.
Okay.
Or at least
So-
not at this exact moment.
Well, yeah, we're gonna give it at least, we're gonna go at least 12 hours before we shoot our mouths off about anything about her employers or her family. So, well, it
So-
turns out that we found out that you may or may not have heard of this. I don't know if you were on Deep Space Nine when this happened, but like the very first day I got assigned to this station, like within like the first hour and a half, haven't even had a chance to go into the infirmary. Apparently some Starfleet Commodore who's like inhabited, who's been possessed by some Bajoran demon, runs amok on the station, and we chased him off with chronoton particles. So it then came to my attention right as the commander had left on the other side of the wormhole, and I was, for better or for worse, left in charge for the safety and well-being of everybody on this station. That it was brought to my attention that in the Gamma Quadrant there was a rogue comet being pelted with chronoton particles. This seemed significant. This seemed like information that the commander should know about. So I took it upon myself to commandeer a runabout, went to the other side of the wormhole, hailed her, and made sure she knew and could deal with the threat. And then I came back here because, you know, someone has to be in charge of DS9 while she's gone.
You're in charge?
Yes, I am.
And you're so brave. You remind me of my mother.
Actually, technically, that was very brave what I did. So yes, yes, I am brave, and I'm not even lying when I say that.
And so now she's swooning. She's totally swept up in your story. She's loving this. You're having a really good time together. She says, you know, I'm at a Bajoran station. I've always wanted to try Bajoran Hasperat. Would you get me one?
Quick question: in
Yeah.
my medical, is there do I know anything about Romulan physiology such that Bajoran food would be like toxic or anything?
Probably the Bajoran food would not be toxic. Hasperat can be very spicy, though, depending on who makes it and how they make it.
Well, okay then. I'll order 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
probably safer. It's not like she's a Vulcan or anything.
Well, close enough.
all right, so you get 2 Hasperat, and the lights are coming down, and the music is starting.
What's the name of this band again?
Oh, what was the name of the band? It's actually not the whole band.
This
It's-
is another one of Joel's wives, right?
Yeah, it's one of Joel's wives.
Groff's wife.
No,
Yeah.
Groff,
That's why,
Groff.
yeah.
I don't know if Joel is married,
It's
actually.
No,
Joel's
Joel's
wife.
not
Joel isn't married. And it was called Basai Mistress was the name of the band. But
Actually,
it's not the whole band. The tour bus left. They're kind of between gigs now, but Joel's wife Frexy and one of the other band members is here, and the 2 of them are doing a show. And it's to
Oh my
benefit
God.
the Bajoran Orphans Fund.
yeah, if there's a
You're gonna-
wife or a husband, it's always Droff's because he's the only one of us who's married.
And married,
Double
and
time.
married, and married.
What? So the band's called Basai Mistress?
Basai Mistress. So
Yeah.
it's like a play on the Klingon Basai Master, but it's a mistress.
Oh, you're going to love this. Basai Mistress is the greatest band ever. Ever. You know, I
Really?
remember one time me and Newhart, we caught them playing in San Francisco at Coachella, which is still around 400 years from now. Oh my God, that was mind blowing.
I'm not really familiar with Basai Mistress very much. I've heard their music a little bit, but the Cardassians do seem to love them.
A rare exhibit of taste and style from Cardassians, but you know, good for them. So,
Well, the band just finished a tour of Cardassian space where they were really popular. So
see, that is kind of funny because I tried listening to some like classical Cardassian stuff. It just sounded like someone was making odd burping and farting noises and like torturing a cat. But
So you really don't like Cardassian music? Oh, interesting. What do you think of Romulan music? And as the band is playing and they're doing a pretty good job, and the show is really good. Everybody's having a great time.
oh, I'm gonna casually like list a couple of like Romulan operas that I'm quite fond of.
So we're gonna assume you did your homework and
Oh shit, yes.
okay. Wow. All right. She is very impressed.
You know, I've been around. You know, I've my knowledge is I've got a lot of breadth, not a whole lot of depth. So I mean, I've been able to touch some of the classics of the Romulan stage, but you know, perhaps there's some of the finer points you could show me.
Anaximander, I'm enjoying myself.
You know what?
Do
You
your
can
friends
call me.
call-
My friends call me Mando.
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 Oh, Mando.
Actually, no one's called me Mando since Newhart and I were running amok in our academy days. But you know, hanging out with him for like the 45 minutes we did before he went off to the Gamma Quadrant brought back so many memories.
Wow, Mando, thank you for showing me such a great time this evening.
Oh,
It's wonderful getting to know you. I'm thinking we're going to have a very special time before my parents get here.
when are your parents going to get here?
They're scheduled to get here tomorrow if everything goes according to schedule. Late tomorrow.
So how long are you planning on being here at DS9?
Oh, that will be up to my father. I'm here as his corporate representative. He may ask me to remain behind. He may not. It will all depend on how he thinks I'm doing here. I can't
Okay.
wait to introduce you to my parents. You're going to love them.
That's how and not who, just so you know.
Red alert.
Yes, I can't wait to meet them too.
Okay, and right at that moment, Doug, I'm throwing down a threat.
What?
Oh no!
Yes, I'm using a threat.
It's her ex-boyfriend, isn't it?
The music is pretty loud, but you think you feel the floor shaking, vibrating, rumbling.
All right.
Okay. Don't spend a lot. Most of my
In the-
time
in
I've
the
spent on
concert
star
hall.
bases. Not
That's
spent a lot
kind
of
of
time on
unusual.
star bases, but I'm pretty sure that stabilizers and whatnot are supposed to keep vibration like that from happening.
And Doug,
This is-
yes?
So, okay. So again, since I'm in command, or at least I believe I'm in command, and no one has disabused me of that impression, who is the equivalent of Chief O'Brien on this place?
Yes. When no, not happy. Oh wait, this is the wrong sheet.
Isn't that the engineer stuck in a alternate dimension?
Which would be just my luck.
Yeah, another engineer stuck
There's
in a
actually
transporter field.
you've got Zinks. You've got Lieutenant Zinks is currently in charge of is currently doing O'Brien's job. Lieutenant Zinks, I'm sure you've met before, although we haven't had Lieutenant Zinks on stage, is a Cation cyborg. So a Cation with cybernetic implants. And meanwhile,
And I know a lot about cybernetic implants.
yes, you do. Doug, I'm burning another threat,
Oh, come on!
and the lights are flickering.
Okay, that ain't good. Okay,
And-
Something tells me
and
this
an
is the
alert
last
is
time I leave you in
sounding.
charge.
Dr. Smith to Lieutenant Zinks.
And now the house lights are coming up.
Dr.
And-
Smith to Lieutenant Zinks.
Dr. Tussick is calling you.
What?
Dr. Tussick is calling you. Saying,
Dr. Tessick, what can I do for you?
Dr. Smith, there's been an explosion on the promenade. We've got casualties coming in. I'm going to have you beamed to the infirmary immediately.
Huh.
Very well. Yes. Call in everybody.
Okay.
I'm
And you-
assuming. I'm assuming that we have some staff beyond just me and him. But you're probably going to tell me no. It's just me and him.
No, you do have some staff other than the two of you. You're the two doctors. You're the two
Okay, I'm
surgeons.
going to be like. Turn to what's her name again? Phaedra.
Yeah,
Am I pronouncing it right?
Adria.
Phaedra, I apologize. I've had a lovely evening. And believe me when I say I wish it could keep going, but I do have responsibilities.
The concert is over. The house lights have come up. They are orderly evacuating the concert hall, but you are being beamed out in an emergency. So Phaedria definitely understands that the date is over, at least for the moment.
Well, I hope I make a dramatic enough exit and leave her wanting more.
It certainly looked heroic.
Well, yeah, the look in her eyes is that she wanted more.
Look who dream weaver. I believe you can get me through the night.
You know, Teenagers from Outer Space has a rule that nobody gets any in Teenagers from Outer Space because sex isn't funny, but frustration is hilarious. I just thought I'd bring that up.
Well, someone's not finding it humorous.
For no reason.
All I have to say is there's a long history in Star Trek, unless you're Riker or Kirk. If you're having sex with alien species, nothing good happens.
Well, I'm trying to.
What
I'm
about
trying to
Harry
bring
Kim?
as recent
Bad
TV
things
series
happen to
have
Harry
shown,
Kim frequently.
I'm trying to introduce a kind of a paradigm shift into the Star Trek mythos. Anyway,
Well, it's
okay, so I'm
it's
beaming
not
back.
possible.
Okay, I'm back in the infirmary.
You're
What do we
back in
got?
the infirmary. You've got someone lying on the operating table. They're ushering you over to the operating table.
Who is it?
It's Genju, the young female Karama assistant from the Gem office.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong?
Burned. She was in some gigantic explosion. There are burn marks. There are contusions. And yeah, there's smoke. The infirmary is on the promenade, and the promenade is kind of full of smoke, and there are people running around. There are damage control parties. There are evacuations going on.
Okay, Dr. Tessick, how is she let's get her stabilized.
I think we just found out what happens when you piss off the founders.
I'm
Yeah,
afraid
I was just thinking liquidation.
it's too late. She's dead.
Oh boy. How many more injured do we have?
That's
There are
not
more.
the one, Mike. That's not the woman who gave us all the information, is it?
No, this
That
was
was
just
Kane. Okay, that was just the receptionist.
Who gave you the information? Yeah. This was just the receptionist. Next is Bemenach, the guy who made the speech and gave the presentation about the pacts, the Alpha Pacts. And he's being put on an operating table.
What's wrong with him?
Same thing. He was in an explosion.
Note to self, next time I talk to the founders, mention using your words.
So I need you to make a reason plus medicine roll.
Okay, I rolled.
Ooh, yeah, your target is 16. You're really good at this.
I
So roll.
rolled, I rolled a 2 and a 14.
All right. Well, 14 is quite successful for you. All right. He is in very bad shape, but not dead. You could start working on him, or where's that sheet? Or Tinga.
While I'm working on him, I'm going to tell Dr. Tessick that we need to have somebody on the staff, or he himself or somebody else that he trusts, to start doing some triage. Start picking out the people who really need it, and the ones that can be, and the ones that are stable or are only mildly wounded. We want to try to get the people who are hurt the most taken care of the quickest. Somebody
Okay.
needs to start sorting out who's stratifying who's worse off, and we
Well,
focus our attention on them
That's-
first.
Basic
There-
role, yeah.
there are some conscious people with injuries who are being brought in, but the two most seriously injured right now to look at are Bemenach and Tingat. Bemenach the Karama and Tingat the Dosai, the male Dosai.
And these are all people that pretending to be the crazy Russian dude I met in their office.
Yes.
I feel somehow strangely responsible for this.
So, which one are you going to attend to, Bemenach or Tingat, and which one are you going to give to Dr. Tessick?
Who's injured the worst? Who's
They're both injured very badly. You made a roll for Bemenach. You haven't made a roll for Tingat yet.
All right, I'm going to take Tingat then. I've got Bemenach. I'm pretty
All right, so
sure
you're
he's
going to
die.
So Dr. Tessick is going to work on Bemenach, and you're going to work on Tingat then.
I'm gonna pass Bemenach off to Dr. Tessick, and I'm going to take a look at the Tingat fellow.
Okay. Then make your roll for Tingat.
13 and an 8.
Okay. Good. Tingat is in pretty bad shape also, needs immediate surgery. But not dead.
Okay. All right. So we got to divvy up I got to make sure.
Yeah, you can. If both of you. Well, wait a minute. You've got collaborative medicine.
I do.
So if you have one of the nurses who I don't have a character sheet for work with you, they get to use your medicine stats. So you plus a nurse gives pretty good survival possibility to one of these two characters. The other one is going to be up to the rolls of Dr. Tessick. So you choose.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna stick with Tingat.
Okay. Then
you needed immediate surgery. You did not say that about the other dude.
Well, they both need surgery. They're both in bad shape. They were both equally close to a horrific explosion. And so I'm going to roll your helper die for working on Tingat.
Okay.
And you roll 2 dice for surgery on Tingat. We won't make this an extended task because it's getting late.
12 and a 6.
And your nurse helper rolled an 8. Tingat's going to make it. So let's see how Dr. Tessick does with Bemenach. Oh!
That's bad. That sounds bad.
He never groans when it's good.
Tessick rolled a failure and a 20.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's really good.
Bemenach didn't make it. Says, I'm sorry, boss. And you've also got other people who are bleeding and wounded and battered and bruised who are coming into the infirmary and getting various medicines and treatments, although they don't need surgery, but lots of just innocent civilians who were out on the promenade when the explosion took place.
I tell Dr. Tessick not to worry about it. I say that, you've shown me a lot today in handling this, and there's no way we could have saved everybody. Let's concentrate on you need to get this guy out of your head and keep your mind focused on the people who still need our help.
Okay. So that's what you're working on now down in the infirmary. Meanwhile, the crew of Starship 11 has no idea that any of this has taken place. And on Starship 11, You are headed toward the wormhole or headed toward, are you headed back toward that space station? You headed toward the Road Comet?
Rogue Comet.
Actually, Mike, one thing
Yeah.
that I do want to do, I want to do before that is if I can get just a minute to breathe, I am going to hail Lieutenant Zins or whatever he said,
Yeah.
the cyborg robot guy.
Yeah.
This is the doctor. What the hell just hit us?
Apparently somebody sabotaged the GEM offices. They blew it up. It's totally destroyed.
Oh. Okay. Is there anybody from security on site there? Is anybody?
There are security. There are a lot of Bajoran security who are on the promenade, and they're probably pulling double shifts right now.
Okay.
Right now, with did Bodhi leave? I think right now you've got Deputy Yaga Ozian is in charge of security, and with some other Bajoran security guards.
And just out of character, if anybody can come up with a reason for us to do a flyby of that gem station, I really want to take a flyby of that gem station, but I can't think of an in-character reason to do it.
Because the commander said so?
It is kind of on the way. It wasn't that far out of your way.
All right, yeah, we'll just.
I'm just saying, since the doctor is still under the impression that he's in command,
Mm-hmm.
he feels obligated to try to contact everybody that he can to make sure that the entire space station isn't like descending into chaos and insanity.
Well,
A certain level of order is being maintained, that there's not like panicking going on.
Well, DS9 is used to a certain amount of terrorist activity.
Yeah.
But basically, the last thing I want is for the commander to come back and be like, "Well, that's the last time we leave you in charge."
well, you've got right now in ops, Thorvam is in charge of ops right now, and is running all the directions that are going on. Thorvam is actually a Romulan Starfleet officer.
Huh.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Huh. Guess.
It's just of all these characters I created to man Deep Space Nine, that's the one that came up.
What's his name?
Thorvam.
Well,
And
then, this is Dr. Smith.
I had actually created that Thorvam is a female, but then you're dealing with two Romulan women. I don't know if Dr. Smith can handle that. We're going to go with it, though. Thorvam is a female.
Okay, then.
Thorvam, this is Dr. Smith.
Yes, Dr. Smith. There's been an explosion on the promenade.
I believe me, I'm aware. Listen, I'm not, as the ranking officer, I feel obligated to check in, but I'm kind of up to my neck here and sick in the infirmary with the injured. I need you to take point on making sure that the station stays relatively under control until the commander can get back.
Yes, sir. We've got it all handled here, sir. We will contact you if we
Yeah.
have any problems.
If you have problems, find me. That's an order.
Should we notify Starfleet Command or anyone else, sir?
Yes, you should notify Starfleet Command.
Okay,
You take care of that immediately.
we will.
Thank you. Smith out. Okay, I'm done.
So they're sending
Now
a.
I'm going to go back to practicing medicine now.
Okay, good. You've got some medicine to practice. Lots of casualties, lots of
Yep.
beat up people.
All right, so from our perspective, we think we've done our job. So we're going to head to the Rogue Comet, but with a flyby by the gem station to pick up some more things that would make Dracoon feel more at home on DS9.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good move. Meanwhile, yeah, on Starship 11, down in the engine room, Cadet Mattis Arna is coming up to Dracoon.
Yes, Cadet.
She's got a tool in her hand you've never seen before. Make a roll.
1 die, 2 die? Is it always 2
Two
die?
dice, 2 dice. This is, yeah, actually, yeah. It would
No
be,
clue. Never saw it before in my life.
okay, yep.
2 19s.
Yeah, you would have had to roll at least 1-1. You would have need 3 successes. Okay.
What is that and why is it on my ship?
All right, and she makes a roll. She has you by surprise. She just stabbed you with a Bajoran Dakla ceremonial blade.
I gotta remember not to trust the damn Bajorans. With
And
Dracoon.
let's see.
No
Yeah, you
offense,
take
y'all.
it's a vicious weapon,
Oh, man.
and let's have a look at your character sheet.
You know, I just realized how many games in we are, and we've never been in combat.
Right,
And
it's the first time.
you don't have an opportunity to fight back. You might get a chance to attack back after we resolve what happened here.
We still haven't been in combat.
He rolled 3. All right.
Alarmingly, like the
Poor
last
Manny
time
is
you
going to
were
be so
attacked.
sorry she missed this.
All right, and
Wait, I thought I was on the ship. Where the
she
hell
is
am
on
I?
the ship. You're on the bridge. This says happening down in the engine room.
Gotcha. All right.
Where is it? Come on, Dracoon. Where is there's Dracoon. Dracoon is. Well, it must be getting late. My computer's starting to slow down.
Uh-oh.
What numbers do you need? I have my character up here.
Well, I don't. Yes, this computer goes slower and slower the longer I video stream. So your
Memory leak. Have you ever noticed so many things in computers like have alarmingly
Right.
references to fecal stuff, like dumps
All right.
and leaks?
Wow.
And
okay, so you have a max stress of 9 or resistance of 9. You just took. That's basically your hit points. You just took 3 damage,
Oh. Ow.
and she has a knife, and you have nothing. And she says, "There is only one emissary."
Dun, dun,
And with
dun.
that, we're going to end for the evening.
All right.
Damn.
evil.
Cliffhanger. All right.
Very, very evil story writer.
You know, I feel for her. I've wanted to stab him a few times.
All right, next week we'll find out if you get to slug her back.
I'd say he's a lover, not a fighter, but
You mean in
not a
2 weeks,
lover
right?
either, So 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
In 2
Next
weeks,
session.
yeah. In 2 weeks,
Cool.
we will see how it resolves.
Why not next week? What's next week?
Nothing.
I'm not available. Doug's not available, and somebody else wasn't available.
Me,
So we could run the game except without the GM and our
video guy, yeah.
video guy. Yeah.
Tech
And then
guy.
next week, Dr. Smith gets lucky.
It is entirely possible.
You know, that's what this week was supposed to be. I'm just gonna say that.
You know, I am going to show a rare moment of modesty. I prefer that if he gets lucky, it happens off camera, and we just deal with the after effects.
Okay.
Will that be like the
gang.
one episode where they're all limping into the medical bay?
No, my dream moment of is basically is what happens is the commander has to like go ask the doctor for something, and based on prior experience, she absolutely hates interacting with the doctor, so she's going in there expecting to give her a bunch of shit. And the door to the infirmary opens, and Phaedra comes out and it's like, "Oh, hello, Commander," and she goes walking off, and she goes in, and Dr. Smith is just kind of like sitting in his chair. He's not really sitting so much as he's like melted into it, and he's got this look of just like complete peace and calm. And he's like, "Oh, hey, Commander, what can I do for you?" And she's like, completely shocked and surprised by him being polite to her. So he's like, "I need you to do this." "Oh, yeah, no problem. Give me like a half hour. I'll have it on your desk. No problem. You have a great day."
Okay. Does anyone else have anything final to say before we cut the live video stream to YouTube? All right. Then that's all for this week. I'm Mike Substelny, your game master. This game session featured Neela Bright, Darren Bright, Ella Shure, Adam Para, Phil Gregory, Vicky Martin, and Kurt Martin, with live editing by Doug Reichard. We'll see you next time on Unreality Zone Fun and Games.
Bye.
We can end the live.